we already kind of went around the room and introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
So, but we do have a lot of the class of 16. Woo! And then we have 205s, we have 207s, and we have 03. Who did I miss? Anybody? Oh, last year. Last year. And then Rashard, you are class of
99.
99.
1999.
So we've got good
Been around for a
representation.
I was really, really young.
Very good. So we're all really excited to be here. There's lots of cool stuff downstairs to see. But we want to hear from the three of you. County Executive Rashard Baker, David Wolfner. See, you won't tell me how to say it. You just say David. Okay, just David. And John Peterson with the Peterson Companies, the developer of property and so much more. But just kind of an overview of what this project has meant to each of you and how you're working together with Prince George's County. And I'll let you take it from there. And whoever wants to go first,
Okay,
go
go
first.
I guess I'll start. Thanks for having me as part of this. It's always fun to talk about a project that you've been working on, pre-construction before we started and post-construction. A project like this takes so much planning. If I were to show you the list of approvals that we needed from all the agencies, if you look at it after you accomplished it all, and you had said you'd have to go through all those to get started, you probably wouldn't have started. But we've done projects like this before in Maryland and Virginia, so we get comfortable with that. We're okay with that. So, we've owned this property. We bought it 20 years ago, based on its potential. When we bought it, we knew that someday it was going to be great. We just so happened to, real estate is cyclical. And we now say if we can survive the worst recession historically, then that's the test of time that you can survive through that. So the beginning of National Harbor wasn't, everyone thinks it's been a bed of roses. It was not very profitable at the beginning. We hung in there. We lost money at the beginning, to tell you the truth. But we knew that the potential. We cut deals with the bank to ensure longevity, and we paid every cent. But it has, there was at one point where is this really worth it? We said absolutely. Because there's nothing that we shy away from when we start on the budget, we finish it. We're typically builders of large, we'll call it communities. And that's what National Harbor really is a community. And we're so proud of it. We used to have in Virginia, all of our flagship property was Fair Lakes. It was 550 acres. And I would call that multi-use. It has all the uses that, let's say, are here in National Harbor, but it's spread out over 500 acres. So this is a true mixed-use project that it's really a city. When MGM opens, there will be 10,000 people that will work here, producing well over, just in National Harbor downtown here, $70 million in taxes. So it's great for the county.
Yeah, we like that. So spend money while you're down here, please.
We have a story.
And, we always have to stay on top of things, and what we've been successful at is trying to stay ahead of the curve. And what National Harbor has always been trying to stay ahead of the curve, whether it's how we activate our streets, what events we have, the tenants that we attract. We try and be pretty selective because we want to produce something that you can't get just anywhere. You can go to a mall and find all the same stores. Well, we've chosen to go the opposite direction and come and bring uniqueness to National Harbor. So if you look around National Harbor, there's a lot of things that you can't find here that you can find anywhere else. There's the only Pete's store in the whole country here. We went to New York and brought down restaurants that include on 45. Local Motors was just another, feather in our cap. We know the times are changing, and that if we wanted to stay with both technology and let's say the universe, that we had to have tenants like Local Motors and National Harbor. them here because we try and be as diverse as we can from uses, and this is pretty spectacular what they're doing here. And the relationships that they have been able to build and form around the world is pretty amazing. Think of it, you know, they started as a 3D printing company for vehicles. There's so much more than that. They have been able to take their strengths and apply it to other technologies, other industries. And so what they're doing is really transformative. You'll probably see downstairs the problem with, I guess, one of the issues that they wrestle with so much is over time they become obsolete really quickly. Whether it's the printers or whatever, it's just like your TVs or your computers, you got to get the new one, right? So they're a great addition to National Harbor. They are looking at other locations in the state, so they're having discussions about potentially putting this up in College Park. They just bring a whole other element to National Harbor that wasn't here before. We're proud to have them here. You know, there's light and there's anchors. Local Motors is a different type of anchor. We have Gaylord and we have the water. You know, the water is why a lot of people come here. Now we've got that little thing up on the hill called MGM that's going to open in 6 weeks. We're really proud of that. And it's just when the momentum has gained. And are we exactly where we wanted to be today, or did we know that we would be here? No, but we knew we'd be in a successful place. Exactly how we got here wasn't a roadmap that we looked at 10 years ago. It definitely had some turns and it had some forks and it had everything in there, but we persevered, and the trajectory of where National Harbor is headed, both on a local, national, and international level, is so different than it was even 2 years ago. I mentioned this before. You know, we have the trifecta. And now we have, you know, what's when it's four?
Make it up.
The fourth.
The fourfecta. We've got Gaylord, we've got the Wheel, we've got Tanger, now we've got MGM. And what MGM brings, not only the entertainment and the games and all that, but it brings a whole nother attraction in the resort. When it opens, you'll see that there's nothing like it in the Mid-Atlantic or on the whole Mid-Atlantic coast. So we're proud to have it here at National Harbor in part of Prince George's County. And things are getting better and better. Our problem is, or not a problem, but an opportunity we have is, let's make National Harbor the best it can be. We're not just taking anyone who walks in the door and says, I want to be there. We now have the ability to be selective in who we would like to be part of the party. And so it's kind of a luxury to be chased, you know, as a little guy or girl, you always want to be chased by that girlfriend or whatever. So we're being pursued by a lot of people, and we're just going to wait and kind of see what happens, be patient. Sometimes my father doesn't like that because he's moving on and he's going, I want to do it now, I want to do it now. So we're in a great trajectory. We've got a lot of work left to do. If you really think about what we've built here today, we're probably only 35 to 40% built out. So there's a lot of potential left to come. And it's kind of our responsibility to make it the best it can be. We've got the density to make it become something really special. And again, it's getting the national recognition that we have always seen that it had the potential. For the longest time, it was other people didn't really see it. And it's all about getting people here. Once you get them here, they become believers. And our repeat business is tremendous. So that's a big challenge for our marketing team, is to get the people here. And so we've gotten to a point where we have enough critical mass where we have started our own convention and visitors association. That's a big step for us, because before we were just marketing basically regional and a little bit outside of the region. Now we are reaching nationally and internationally. So that's a big step for us. We're going to get that going and show that it's worth being part of that, then we're going to drive down the road to both this gentleman's office and state officials to see if they can help us be part of that. Because I don't know what the statistic is, for every dollar that you invest in tourism, it's like a 14 or times return on that investment. So we want to make sure that we get it going and that we can see that it's something that is worthwhile to invest in. You know, it really is an investment when you learn before you go to the county and the state, but we got to prove the investment is worth those dollars. So that's what we're in the middle of right now, is establishing that CBA. That's a big step for us. Another big step is Thursday. We're having a celebration. It might seem like a small little thing, but we're opening a bus route, public metro bus route. And Virginia. And you don't realize how limiting it is until it's a benefit to both, because I know as much we want to have as Prince George's County residents working in here, but for the employers that are here, they need to have a wide spectrum of employee base to draw from. And right now, they weren't able to be as broad. And it goes both ways. The people in Alexandria aren't able to draw from Maryland. So there was a divide because there wasn't really any public transportation. So this will provide a great opportunity, I think, for both parties, and I think more so for Maryland to benefit from that. There's a lot of job opportunities that are here now and growing in the future at National Harbor. Again, 10 years ago, we started construction. We opened. Now we started construction. And so in 10 years, it's 10,000 jobs. So we're on a great trajectory. Proud of what we've accomplished. We always get the question, would you do it again? And probably not. I don't have any gray hair now, but the old man does. But anyhow, it has been, it has been a struggle, but it's been worth perseverance. And we couldn't be more proud of this. National Harbor is now what the Pearson Companies is known for. It used to be Fair Lakes and some of our other projects, but this is what we call our flagship, and we're proud to stand behind it. So I don't know if you want to do questions afterwards or that's it.
Well, thanks, John, and thanks for having us. And I think it started in Knoxville, right? Our
Yes.
relationship.
Yep.
So Milt and John and a couple others were down there. Welcome to Local Motors National Harbor. My name is David Vasnor, for my American friends, Dave Vasnor. So feel free. But my mom really would prefer you call me David. She actually just left yesterday, so she's not here. Otherwise, she'd be very vocal about that. So we design, build, and sell vehicles. This is our sales and demonstration facility right here in Prince George's County. We've been here since June. I've been here a little longer. Actually, I'm from Detroit, and I was in a position with the city of Detroit as it merged out of bankruptcy in 2013-14, working for the mayor in economic development. So I understand both sides of the spectrum. I actually was in Detroit this morning giving a speech about what we're doing in Detroit and what we're doing around the country. So we are looking at investing further here in Prince George's County and in Maryland. And so looking at College Park, as John said, and we welcome all of you guys to help us build my full microfactory here and bring local. This is our 3D printed longboard, and I know I had you scared. It wasn't me. Look,
He jumped on himself.
he jumped on it himself. So we had County Executive Baker riding it, but this is actually we offer classes and teach people how to design their own longboard and then print their own longboard, machine their own longboard, assemble their own longboard, right? And it's kind of interactive, and people get familiar with CAD. And you'll meet Buddy and Tracy here, who's our tour director. So if anybody wants to look at the facility, contact Tracy. She'll make sure you guys get a great experience. Buddy teaches a lot of our classes, everything from 4-year-olds we teach about computer-aided design and 3D printing, all the way to, I think the oldest person we have is probably in his late 70s, early 80s. With his granddaughter, actually. He was here with his granddaughter learning about microcontrollers. So we're all about open innovation, right? It's our platform of co-creation and micro-manufacturing. And while this facility is about 20,000 square feet, and by the way, Tracy always makes sure that I say it's our award-winning facility, thanks to John and our architect at BWH and our contractor at LF Jennings. We just won best street level retail according to some, that was like last week. So it's not just us saying this.
For the Maryland chapter of
Yeah,
NIAP.
exactly, that's what it was. Thank you. See, he's a real estate guy, I'm not a real estate guy, I'm a manufacturer. So we don't just do cars, we've done, and you'll see trikes, bikes, motorcycles, small cars, big cars, 12 people, low speed, self-driving, Watson-enabled shuttles. Unfortunately, that vehicle is in Knoxville this month for some important things down there with the governor of Tennessee and the city of Knoxville at Oak Ridge National Lab. We have facility, and we even make drones. So Airbus Group and us, along with also a partnership we have with GE that we actually just announced yesterday. We launched Forth, which actually opens our co-creation platform to, as John mentioned, to other industries to learn how to harness the power of the crowd to rapidly commercialize products that tend to be heavy industrial and capital intensive. And so we started that with GE, with First Build in Louisville, Kentucky, and now we're doing it with Airbus and drones. We just finished a challenge with them, and one of the images we have down in the lab, you can see it's a 20-pound cargo drone to lift like emergency equipment out of disaster areas that we're working on with aerospace and defense giant Airbus. And normally they don't like open innovation, right? They do stuff secretive, just like Lockheed and Northrop Grumman and all these other, Raytheon. And we actually showed them that in 6 weeks they had 425 submissions, and they came up with a design, and now we're prototyping that in our facility in Las Vegas. And
So
we're-
should take a little time, just take 30 seconds to talk. Most people probably don't know what co-creation is.
Okay, yeah.
I think if you really education.
So co-creation, what we believe is both online and offline. We harness a community of about 60,000 industrial designers, engineers, vehicle enthusiasts to go and collaborate on projects and challenges, to go and design vehicles that are locally relevant. So the way Ali came about is we worked with a team in our facility in Berlin, brought stakeholders together from the equivalent of what would be a county administration to the local Department of Transportation, to some entrepreneurs and some other interested people in looking at what urban mobility would look like in Berlin 15 years from last year, so 2030. And then we put that challenge out to our co-creation community and said, here's kind of the parameters, go design. And a 22-year-old industrial design student studying in Italy from Columbia won a challenge. And he was here in June. And by the way, you know, Pittsburgh gets a lot of credit for, and Singapore gets a lot of credit for this self-driving vehicle stuff with what Pittsburgh's doing with Uber and what Singapore is doing with Nutangi. What is actually, we didn't get as much credit because unfortunately the laws of Maryland don't allow it yet, but we actually had the first self-driving operator-less vehicle on Maryland streets in June here. And that's what we want to bring, and I know John is eager, and Kent is eager, and we engaged Motor Vehicle Administrator Nizer and Secretary Ron about figuring out how to bring a driverless, self-driving, low-speed electric vehicle to the streets of Maryland. Currently, the legislation in the state doesn't allow that, but the U.S. Department of Transportation issued guidance for highly automated vehicles just last month. We're part of that process with the working group here in Maryland as well as around the country. So I went a little off tangent, but that's the co-creation piece, is really bringing those people from around the world together to solve or develop vehicles that are locally relevant. And so the vehicle we may design or develop for Maryland may be completely different than a vehicle we design for San Francisco or for Berlin or for Shanghai. And so that's the power of the crowd, is using people that don't really work for us, incentivizing them to give us their best ideas, and then rewarding them for those ideas if we commercialize products, And so now we use people that are really smart, that don't happen to work for us, to go and, some people like to say crowdsource engineering and development. And then we use local microfactories to produce. And we don't produce 100,000 or 200,000. We produce 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 units a year, depending on the mix of vehicles. Like our lines, we don't have lines. We're not sending a ton of vehicles down the same line. The point is to have the flexibility in a small factory to go and create multiple vehicles using some of the same tooling without the capital intensity and the long lead times of traditional manufacturing. So I won't steal any more of County Executive Baker's time in sharing his vision for the county. Tracy will lead a tour after this so you guys can spend as much time, and we have some other fun activities as long as everybody signs waivers. So thank you for being here and welcome again.
You're going to want to go on the tour because it is fun. I almost killed myself out there, but it was worth a picture. It was. I don't know. I have to see the picture first. Mike, you hooked me up, right? I got it. I'm not going to be long because I noticed you have to go on the tour. Let me do this first by thanking you for coming to Prince George's County, and give yourselves a round of applause for being in Leadership Maryland. Anytime, and Elliot knows this, anytime I come back and talk to folks about, who are Leadership Maryland class, I love to say that I did not want to go into Leadership Maryland. It was my second term in the House of Delegates. I had just become chair of the Prince George's County delegation, which is the second largest. I just moved over to appropriations, very important committee. And, I can, like a rising star, I was on the move. And so when it was suggested that I apply to Leadership Maryland, I simply, I also had 3 very young children at the time, and a wife who demanded that I eat to be co-parent, and so I said, well, I really don't have the time and I don't want to do it. Then I got a call from Nancy Cobb, who's now the treasurer, but at the time was a member of appropriation and chaired our education subcommittee. And she said, I really think you ought to do this for the benefit of Prince George's County. I couldn't make the connection. I couldn't make the connection of Leadership Maryland and the county and why it was important. And so I, didn't want to make her mad. So I said, well, thank you, but no thank you. Then I got a call from the chairman of appropriations, and if any of you have been around long enough to know Howard P. Rollins. One, he never leaves his office, you go see him. So if he does leave his office, you're in trouble. And he came up to my office, on the second floor, and handed me an application and said, fill it out. I said, thank you, I will do that. Because I ain't stupid. I say that to say that it was the best experience of my life and my career. I never knew how important that would be to the job that I eventually would have as county executive. The ability to go around the region and to see innovative programs that were going on. Things that I thought, we had a lock on in Prince George's County where we didn't. Issues that I thought couldn't be solved, that I saw people solving them. Even jurisdictions that were small. We were in St. Mary's County, looking at their school system, which was the basis, quite honestly, for the changes we made almost 20 years later in Prince George's County and how we construct our government in the school system. And how we're going to build a brand new high school down the road. So I say that to say it's very, very important. And not to mention the people. I still keep in contact with a good portion of the classmates I had. And it's funny, a couple of them lived in Prince George's County. I knew them. They were in politics, but I really didn't know them. And I got to know them on these trips in a different way, a very different way. But we maintained that as an important. And that's why, glad to come here. Clearly, what has gone on as you do this tour in the Capital Region, what's going on in National Harbor is just amazing. At the same time I took over, as chair of the House delegation, Wayne Curry was a county executive, and Milt Peterson had just gotten this land down here, which was just a really funky looking, nothing. And they were doing those big
gravel pit.
they were doing these tours, on a boat that wasn't very sturdy around this gravel pit, and Milt describing, his vision, and Wayne is buying into it. I'm thinking, y'all are nuts. But what part do I need to play in this just to get some funding? To see that start, and then also see where we are, not just today, but how the evolution has come about. Bringing, I think the first deal when I was here was Tanger came on. Having Tanger be part of the first deal that was done as me as county executive, and the reason that was important was at the same time the market crashed, so did the confidence of Prince George's County. And so you had the market crashing, no one believing in the Prince George's County government, and then you had a bright star where this was coming as a ray of light. And you had a company that believed it. And so all of that serves to how we develop Prince George's County throughout. What you see in National Harbor and what you're going to see throughout your tour here, and what you see with this company, Locomotive here, is manufacturing jobs in Prince George's County. Who ever thought that would happen? And when they said it was going to happen in National Harbor. I'm thinking, hard hats, stuff like that. No, they're like, no, this is technology. But to have it happen here means for us, and this is what it means for your places back home, is if you could make it happen here, there's a ray of light on how it can happen elsewhere. So you start from here, and if you had time and you were just doing Prince George's County, there's something you can do today in Prince George's County you couldn't have done 5 years ago when I became county executive. And that is, you can go to almost every part of our 500 square miles, and there is a significant development project going on. There's no part of the 500 square miles where there's not something significant going on. The star of it is National Harbor and MGM, but we just came from a groundbreaking at Largo, where the new hospital, regional hospital, will happen. Also something I learned when I was in Leadership Maryland doing the tours of how we're connected to the southern part. So, my brothers and sisters in Charles County, St. Mary, and Calvert County are now part of our system around healthcare, but also transit. That was important. But a new hospital coming there. So these are the things that are happening in the county, and we're so proud of it. And we're proud of how this particular place that you're in now are the things that we talked about, and that is economic development, job creation, and innovation. So you're in all of it in one place, so hope you enjoy it.